Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I said in my last video that I released on Wednesday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I wanted to kind of chat about some books that I've been reading lately before I get to the end of August recap. There are still some books that I want to talk about, but today I just wanted to kind of chat about a few books that I've been reading lately and ones that I'm going to read soon. So first, I read this book the other day, and I'm going to put a full review in my August recap. But it is an amazing book. He did so well at just talking about what womanhood is and goes over all the different topics of like being respectful and submission and being a homemaker. I highly recommend this to any woman, and it has good like discussion questions at the end of each chapter, so it's really good to go through like as a book study or a discipleship thing. Anyways, I'll talk about this a lot more later, but I just wanted y'all to like go ahead and know that this is an amazing book, and if you get the chance, go buy it now and start reading it, because I think every woman and even men can read this. If you're looking for like what is a godly woman, what should I look for in a wife, such a good book. And so after I finish that book, I usually like to keep like one Christian living book going at each time. I'm currently reading like 12 different books, but I try to keep one of them like a Christian book that I'm learning from. So I started reading Picture Perfect by Amy Baker, which if you followed me like on Instagram, I think I've even talked about it on YouTube. I've been waiting a long time to read this book, and so I saw Picture Perfect when life doesn't line up, and I thought, okay, this is about whenever you have all these expectations for life and how it's going to go, you have your whole plan and everything, and then it doesn't line up how you wanted it to be. I started reading this and quickly realized that was not what the topic of the book was. It's actually about perfectionism and people who are kind of OCD and like really want everything to be perfect. And she talks about how Christ is sufficient and that we don't need to be perfect and that we need to put our faith in him and reminding you of the gospel. So I've decided not to read it right now because that isn't a current struggle of mine, and I'd rather be spending my time reading other books that I have on my shelf waiting to be read that I could, I think, learn a lot from and apply to my life right now. But it's a good book, and I definitely will come back to it later on, like if I struggle with that or if there's like a counseling case. I think this would be a really good book to use. So if you are struggling with perfectionism or interested in that book, I would definitely recommend it. I like Amy Baker and the way that she writes, and you can learn a lot from her. It's just not something I want to be reading right now, if that makes sense. So instead of reading that book, my next Christian book is going to be Psychobabble by Richard Gans, and I haven't actually started this yet, but I'm going to, and it's a pretty short book. I got it for free from the ACBC conference last year. We got like a box of books for free, which was really awesome, and it's been sitting on my shelf with the other ones that I got, and I decided to read it. So it's about how psychology doesn't line up with the Bible, and I read like the back, and it talks about how pastors will use a lot of psychological terminology and it doesn't line up with the scripture that they're teaching. So I'm really excited to read this because obviously I'm really passionate about biblical counseling, and it's just really common for Christians to still take part in therapy and psychology and even use terms that they don't realize is connected. So I think this will be really beneficial to kind of help me to have good reasoning and good arguments whenever I'm talking to people, and I'm excited to be able to recommend it to all of you guys to read and to learn about what biblical counseling is. And then fiction book to finish out this little chat of books I've been reading. I just finished last night Susan Finkbeiner's All Manner of Things. I have read, I think, 2 of her other books, and I can't even remember what they are. So I've read 2 of her other books. You'll have to look back on my channel to see which other ones they are because I can't remember at all. Or maybe just one. I don't know. But this one, my sister and my mom and some of my friends have read it and said that it was really amazing. And so I was really excited to get to it. And last night I read, let me see. I read a ton of it last night. Probably like at least a quarter of the book. I think, yeah, I read at least 100 pages last night before going to bed because I wanted to completely be in the story and be able to finish it because I knew that it was a really emotional, well-written book. And if you are looking for a book that you can cry in, because who doesn't like those kind of books, this made me cry so much. And I don't normally cry in books. I might like get emotional or kind of tear up, but this had me like full on trying not to sob. So I would definitely recommend it to everybody. And again, I'll talk about it more in my August recap, which is probably going to be so long, but that was what I just finished. I think the next fiction book I'm going to read, quick fiction, is going to be The Gentleman in Moscow. I tried to read it before and I quit. Then my mom read it and said that she really liked it, and that it was a really good book, and I've seen lots of people talking about just how good it is, especially if you like Russian stuff, which I really like reading Russian books, so I'm excited to pick that one up next. But those are just some of the books that I've been reading currently that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. I was going to talk about it over on Instagram, but I didn't have a video for today, so I thought, why not kind of just talk about it today and let you guys know what I've been reading and my thoughts that I have on these current books. So let me know down in the comments what you guys are reading right now, what you're looking forward to starting, and I look forward to chatting with you guys down in the comments. I will see y'all next week. Bye!